Welcome to the Deep Dive, your way to get really informed, fast, with some surprising facts, and hopefully enough fun to keep you listening.
Absolutely. And today we're definitely diving into something, well, unconventional.
Yeah, we've got an interview with someone who actually calls himself a professional black magician, E.A. Getting.
Right. And our mission here is really to unpack his insights, particularly on demons, this idea of a demonic hierarchy, and how, surprisingly, he links it all to, like, personal growth and mastery.
The perspective you don't hear every day, that's for sure. Full of stuff often wrapped up in misconceptions.
Exactly. And just to be clear up front, we're not here to endorse any specific practices. The aim is just to pull out the knowledge, understand this different way of looking at things.
Helping you get a handle on a totally different framework for reality, really.
Yeah.
Quick, thorough, which is what we know you're looking for.
These ideas are definitely thought-provoking. So let's get into it.
Okay, first big hurdle. This common idea that demons are just, evil, fallen angels. Our source completely throws that out.
Yeah, he argues that actually many of these figures we call demons were originally ancient gods from the Middle East, mostly.
Ancient gods? How do they become demons then?
Well, the argument is that as empires conquered these regions, they deliberately demonized the local deities. It was like a way to wipe out the old culture.
Ah, cultural annihilation through rebranding almost.
Pretty much. He gives the example of Astarte. She was a goddess of love, right? But she gets twisted into Astaroth, who's seen as a demon of sexual manipulation.
Wow.
And what's really interesting is the claim that both versions, the original goddess and this later demonic egregore form, which is like a conscious thought form built by belief,
Right.
are both still believed to exist, and you can potentially interact with them.
That's a lot to take in right there. It suggests this whole landscape of consciousness is still active, evolving.
Exactly.
So, okay, let's unpack black magic itself then, because that word carries a lot of baggage.
It does, but the definition here is maybe not what you expect. It's defined simply as the act of creating, like, substantial, real change in this world.
As opposed to?
As opposed to what he calls white magic, which is more about deferring to, divine will or asking nicely.
So black magic is more proactive, taking charge.
Yeah, the black magician, in this view, doesn't wait for permission. They actively try to improve upon the divine's model. There's this underlying belief that maybe the divine's creation simply isn't good enough.
Okay, that's a bold stance.
It is, and it covers everything from healing and protection to, making things happen in your life, getting what you want, direct, intentional action.
Taking the reins. And these entities, gods or demons, they're not physical beings, he calls them. What was it? Conscious power.
That's the term, yeah, like currents of energy flowing through existence, but they're aware of themselves, aware of interacting with people, with events. They're active players.
Right, so if they're active players, how does someone, like a ritualist, actually work with them? Does this hierarchy idea come into play? Does it matter who's who?
Oh, absolutely crucial, according to him, really for two main reasons.
Okay.
First, it's about control. If you know which spirit is senior to the one you're dealing with, you can supposedly leverage that. Even just like name-dropping the superior spirit can help you maintain control of the ritual.
Like pulling rank in the spirit world.
Kinda, yeah. And second, potency. Calling on the higher-ups, the more powerful entities, is believed to get you a much stronger result than dealing with, as he puts it, some little imp.
Go straight to the top for bigger impact.
Yeah.
Makes a certain kind of sense. But when most people think demonic hierarchy, they probably think Lucifer, maybe Satan, right at the pinnacle, often used interchangeably.
Yeah, that's the common view. But he suggests that's often incorrect. He points out that Beelzebub, sometimes called Beelzebub or Beelzebooth, is often considered higher ranking in many traditional systems.
Oh, interesting. So Lucifer, Satan, Beelzebub, they're distinct.
Distinct, yeah, though he says they're also intertwined. And actually working with Lucifer and Satan through evocation, that's summoning them into visible form, is apparently pretty difficult because they're seen as adversarial entities. They don't naturally like being bossed around.
Adversarial, that doesn't sound very helpful if you're looking for, say, personal growth.
Well, it's a different kind of help, maybe. He uses Lucifer as an example, calls him a massive teacher.
Okay.
But Lucifer doesn't just grant wishes, he enlightens you. But often by, and this is a direct quote, sending your life into 9 different hells.
9 different hells. That sounds awful.
It's about forcing self-discovery through intense challenge, a very tough love approach to finding out what you're really made of.
Radical enlightenment, indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's where my head starts spinning a bit. The hierarchy. If you've got these powerful entities, where does the magician fit in when they're doing a ritual? Are they at the bottom asking for favors?
Ugh. See, this is maybe the most mind-bending part. The core belief here. The magician performing the evocation is, in that specific moment, at the absolute top of the hierarchy.
Wait, above Lucifer, above Beelzebub.
Above everything in that context.
Ah.
They become the creator of the manifested entity in that moment. They invoke their own omnipotence to compel the spirit to appear and listen.
Whoa.
That, he says, is the essence of high magic. You're not just asking, you become the creator yourself. It completely flips the usual power dynamic. The magician is the ultimate authority.
The magician as God in that moment. That's a powerful, almost confronting idea. It really does flip everything. So to make this more concrete, he talks about specific entities, right? These 9 demonic kings.
Yes, exactly. From the Goetia, which is part of the Lesser Key of Solomon, an old grimoire.
The story is King Solomon trapped demons to build his temple, isn't it?
That's the fable, yeah. But our source reads it as a metaphor. Building the temple is like building your own empire, making your spiritual goals solid, real in the physical world.
Okay, making the spiritual concrete.
Right. And these 9 kings are presented as some of the most powerful forces for doing just that. And EA groups them into 3 categories based on his own working experience.
Okay, interesting. Let's break down that first group, masters of influence and manipulation. How do they tie into, like, self-transformation?
Think of these as ways to amplify your own ability to affect people and situations. First up is Paimon.
Paimon. Yeah.
Paimon is described as having power over minds and thoughts, influencing, manipulating, even causing total shifts in someone's beliefs or decisions.
Total shifts, like not just nudging them.
Yeah. The example given is changing someone's mind 100% on something they've believed or decided for ages. A fundamental change. It's framed as mastering deep persuasion.
Okay, that's intense. What about the next one, Bile?
Bile, yeah.
Yeah.
He's presented as the master of lawlessness, self-governance. The source claims Bile can massively influence situations, especially involving authority. Well, there's a pretty wild anecdote about criminal charges just disappearing, even serious ones where someone expected prison, charges drop, evidence lost, witnesses vanish.
Seriously?
That's the claim. In this framework, it represents the power to, bend the rules of reality, override systems.
Okay. And the third in this influence group?
That's Baeleth, B-A-L-E-T-H, where Paimon works on thoughts, Baeleth focuses on emotions, causing love, or the opposite, or really any strong feeling.
Thoughts, situations, emotions, covers a lot of ground.
Exactly. And working with these 3 together, Paimon, Bile, Baeleth is said to grant almost instantaneous hypnotic abilities. You can supposedly implant thoughts, influence behavior really quickly.
So internalizing these aspects would mean developing serious personal influence, situational control, and maybe emotional intelligence or at least manipulation. Powerful stuff.
Definitely a powerful skill set, yeah.
All right, category 2, givers of knowledge and creation. How do these help you transform yourself?
These seem focused on boosting your internal capacity to know things and to make things. First is Balaam. Grants huge amounts of knowledge, including, apparently, complete precognition, knowing the future, stuff happening far away, the past, often through something called point vision, like being everywhere at once.
Precognition, wow.
And get this, the claim is Balaam can physically realign your genetic structure so you can absorb and recall information better, like upgrading your brain's hardware.
Literally rewiring yourself to learn faster. That's a big claim.
It is. Then there's Vine, sometimes spelled V-N-E-A.
Vine, what's his power?
Overcoming obstacles. All obstacles. The metaphor used is causing storms that will knock over stone walls. The walls are your problems. The storms are the focused power to just smash through them, finding the quickest way to demolish any barrier.
Forceful problem solving. Okay. And the last one here is person. P-E-R-S-O-N. Unusual name.
Yeah, it is. Person teaches creation ex nihilo.
Creating something from nothing. The Philosopher's Stone kind of idea.
Exactly. The source gives a really vivid example, evoking the car itself, not just asking for money for a car, but evoking the thing, and then it manifesting. He tells a story about getting a motorcycle this way. Didn't pay, didn't look for it. It just arrived.
Manifesting things directly out of thin air, basically.
That's the idea. So these 3, Balaam, Vine, Person, are like master teachers for learning, absorbing knowledge, overcoming anything, and directly creating what you want.
Knowledge, overcoming, creating. Another potent combo for growth. Okay, final group. Masters of deceit, revelation, and protection. Sounds very practical.
Very. First is Zagan.
Sagan.
Master of deceit, illusion, alchemy, concealment, hiding projects, confusing people, even making the magician invisible.
Invisible how?
Through a glamour effect, he says. People just don't notice you. He tells a story about walking down a busy street totally unseen, or even making people perceive his eye color differently through illusion. It's about controlling perception.
Controlling what people see or don't see. Okay. Then Asmodee, often linked with lust, right?
Asmodee, or Asmodeus, yeah. Known as the revealer of secrets. Could be people's inner secrets, secrets of a situation, or secrets of power and spiritual growth.
Secrets of power. That still seems useful, even if finding out personal secrets is maybe less relevant now with, Google.
Right. The secrets of power aspect remains potent. And yes, he also controls emotions, specifically causing lust or love towards the magician. So deep insight and emotional leverage.
Got it. And the last of the 9 kings.
That's Baal, B-A-E-L, sometimes spelled Bel. He teaches invincibility and invisibility.
Wait, invisibility again, like Zagan.
Yeah, there seems to be overlap. Baal creates this energetic critical mass around you, like a super strong shield, makes you impervious to attack, physical or spiritual.
Impervious how?
Attackers get neutralized, basically. Or even hurt themselves in weird ways, like getting into car accidents before they can harm the magician. It's strong protection.
Okay, so this last group is about hiding, revealing, and protecting. Concealment, truth, and defense.
Exactly. And looking at all 9, you start to see it's less about just asking for favors.
Right. You mentioned earlier this connection to self-actualization, activating power within.
This is really key. The source argues that true mastery isn't just evoking spirits to ask for stuff. It's about subjugating them.
Subjugating. Sounds aggressive.
It means pulling their essence into yourself. He calls it a controlled possession. You stay in charge, but you gain the spirit's powers by letting its energy flow through you. It's about internalization.
So it's not just external help, it's internal transformation. Like the outside world mirrors your inside state.
Precisely that. The external is always a mirror reflection of the internal. And these entities, these kings, can be seen not just as outside beings, but as aspects of the black magician's own being that you can strengthen and develop.
So if you really worked with these kings, calling them into yourself, what would that look like? What would you become like?
Okay, he gives specifics. Internalizing Baal. You'd get raw power, huge physical vitality, incredible metaphysical willpower, just becoming this indomitable force.
Okay, and Zagan, the master of deceit?
You'd become more strategically deceitful yourself, better at secrets, at strategic dishonesty, controlling information flow.
Mastering obfuscation, not just hiding things. What about Asmodee, the revealer?
You'd develop enhanced insight into others' minds, become like a channel for constant revelation, just knowing hidden truths instantly.
And Balaam, a knowledge giver.
Massive precognition, instant intuitive understanding of things happening far away or in the future. You just know.
Wow, direct intuition. And the obstacle crusher, Vine.
Faster problem solving, the ability to just crush obstacles using whatever force is needed, physical, mental, spiritual.
And person, creation from nothing.
You'd manifest desires almost instantly, create whatever you want with remarkable ease, not just wishing, but making.
Okay, and the first group, the influencers.
Internalizing Baalath gives you extreme control over others' emotions. With Payman, you develop powerful hypnotic abilities shaping thoughts fundamentally.
And Bile, the authority manipulator.
You'd gain greater control over world events, situations, extreme ease in handling authority figures, bending complex systems to your will.
It really sounds like amplifying innate human potentials to an extreme degree.
That's exactly the framing. He even mentions a personal experience with an entity called Azidahaka from ancient Persia,
Right.
where the process involved partial possession, invocation, really merging consciousness to understand it, going beyond just summoning it.
It drives home that idea of merging for power and insight.
Yeah.
He also mentioned spirits having armies.
Yeah, briefly. Like, Bile supposedly commands 80 legions. It's like having a demonic army to throw at big problems.
Yeah.
He also touches on practical tools.
Like sigils.
Sigils, yeah, but he says they aren't inherently powerful. They're more like easy backdoors, tools for focus, helping the internal work, building the connection. The accuracy of drawing it is less important than the focus you put into it.
Okay. And things like skulls or talismans.
Used to anchor the spirit's energy, he says, so they constantly radiate that power. Tattoos are mentioned, too, as a permanent link, which could even lead to a more continuous kind of possession if you're not careful, or if that's the goal.
Okay, so shifting to practicality. What's the absolute worst thing that can happen when doing a ritual, according to this source? How do you avoid total failure?
This is maybe the most crucial and kind of counterintuitive bit of advice he gives. The worst thing, assuming the ritual didn't work.
Assuming it failed is the worst thing. Why?
Because even if you don't see anything, hear anything, feel anything, you must act as if it did work. You have to give the command, direct the energy towards your goal.
What happens if you don't? If you just think, oh, well, nothing happened?
You leave undirected energy floating around. And that, he warns, can cause havoc. It can make your life fall apart. He tells a story about a student who ignored a manifestation he couldn't perceive. His life apparently went completely off the rails. Girlfriend left, kicked out of school, lost his job. Chaos. Because the energy wasn't directed.
So the key is, acknowledge it worked. Give the order, focus on the result.
Exactly. Focus on the result, not the fireworks and not the phenomenon of seeing a spirit. The real proof is the change in your life.
The change.
Yeah.
He said life should become charmed, dreamed.
Yeah, meaning things just work out. No money problems, no relationship issues, obstacles just melt away quickly. The tangible outcome is the only thing that really matters in this practice.
Wow. What a journey through this perspective. It's definitely a deep dive. We've covered so much ground.
We really have. From redefining demons as potentially ancient gods,
to seeing black magic simply as intentional change.
the idea of the magician being the ultimate authority, the creator in the ritual.
Exploring those 9 demonic kings and their specific powers, from influence and knowledge to creation and protection.
And landing on this core idea that it's all about internal transformation, activating these aspects within yourself.
Subjugating the spirit by internalizing his essence, leading to self-actualization. It really does challenge so many conventional ideas about power, reality, and the self.
It absolutely does. That central idea, your external reality mirrors your internal state, is such a radical statement of self-empowerment, isn't it? It puts the power squarely back on you.
It really does. Which leaves us and you with a pretty provocative thought to chew on, maybe. Well, if your external reality is a mirror of your internal state, what dormant powers or aspects might be lying inside you right now, waiting to be recognized, amplified, maybe even developed?
Interesting.
What would it really mean in your day-to-day life to be at the top of your own hierarchy, to own your creative power and intentionally shape your reality, even without, drawing any sigils?
That's definitely something to think about.